still put the DP safe lane and pick up the Puck mid if they want to, but it's more the combo that they have. They now have the Venge Puck, which is now an incredible way to find initiation. It's actually just so stunning at how easy it is to find this.
5 seconds remaining.
Puck goes Ags. You drop the coil, you've got a guaranteed way to break it. It's like a, what, 800 damage with that coil getting broken with Aghanims, I think. It's just so nuts. I'm trying to think of... Last time they played it in their matchup 2 days ago against eHome. And they put the Puck on the mid lane. They also did have the DP that game as well. They actually, yeah, they put the DP into the off lane that game. Or was it the Wraith King off lane? No, I'm pretty sure the DP did play off lane. I think there is a chance it's still going to be an off lane here, actually.
5 seconds remaining.
I'm looking correctly at the recent heroes that they did pick in that game, but yeah. CDC, all right, they're going to go for a beast monster here. I mean... They have to go for some big physical damage dealing hero for Armo, I think. Now with the Beastmaster getting picked up. Because, I mean, the Raw has like a project. I don't... It's not neither here or there. I mean, it gives you a nice way to take objectives. But they could just Slark from Keen if they want to. I mean, Slark looks really good this game. The issue is, though, is then... I know, I think you're fine. They're going to have to reveal where someone's going now with this pick. They're going to Naga instead. Okay, so they don't deal with the illusions right now from CDEC. The Beastmaster vs Naga lane isn't that bad though, and Keen don't have a way to be able to... The one issue with Beastmaster is that if you're against heroes that can kill your boars like pretty much instantaneously in the laning stage, then you don't have very good presence at all. And they think it's actually... So the Puck 4, DP mid, look for a 3. They need some Dispel. Now with the Naga getting picked up, you need a way to get rid of the Mirana, Arrow, and the Raw. These are high duration stuns that cannot be taken lightly. The Abba, the Omni still in the pool.
10 seconds remaining.
The issue is that would lack a lot of damage though.
5 seconds remaining.
I feel like they make it up for it. Yeah, I feel like they make up for that damage that they'd lack. They're not really too worried about that. Still trying to work out where this Puck's actually going to try and lane here. What's the match? What's the one that CDC can go for to deal with the Nagasar illusions? Because there's not really a whole lot. They could gyro. I feel like you don't really get much out of the inner beast though. It's a decent amount, but not a whole lot. They push with the beast, Mirana. What do they need? They need something to tick off the boxes here. We can make the space. They got heroes to make space for Arme, if this is the need be. He could DK.
Radiant team pick.
We've seen a couple of DK ones if they want to push the pace. He has an okay way to deal with the illusions. Well, the only reason I say DK is because the initiation versus the Puck is really important, even though the Puck's going to be what I imagine played as a support. But it's the... I mean, I'd say it's out of left field. I'd much rather a lot of other heroes against it. I mean, now I think Slark could be pretty decent. Slark versus Deep... Did Slark get banned? He didn't.
5 seconds remaining.
They need that win condition. Regardless, they need a win condition here around here for Arme. Something's going to be able to give them some hope. I'd say that's a lot of hope though. I mean, that's a hero that just ramps up this game so incredibly fast. Okay, so I'm trying to still see. Will be the Abaddon 3. You on the Death Prophet. This is tricky. This is tricky. Well, I don't think they have damage to go through the elk, actually. Like, Naga needs... Dude, that puck looks so weird. Naga needs Manta Diffusal until she comes online, but even then, I think it's going to be a little bit too late. I'm very worried that King Gaming aren't going to have the damage. Until... Well, when they get puck... When they do have the Ags on puck, then they can kill the Alchemist. Like, you just... You coil him, you swap him back away from the Shadow Demon so Victoria can't get the heals. Then they'll be fine. Is James playing the 5? Why does Liquipedia say James is playing the 5? He's on the Marona. I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Making sure we got everything set up. I really like the Alchemist a lot. I think that the Naga is not going to be able to get enough items before the Elk's able to come online. I think that CDEC can just kind of end this game relatively early. It's also a hero. I mean, you've already got mass amount of attack speed. You also just kind of amplify that with the Beastmaster as well. So it's gonna be interesting to see. Arme on the new roster here. We also have Keen Gaming, a pretty much full new roster for them as well. So we'll see how this one's going to turn out here, ladies and gentlemen. Game 1 between CDEC up against Keen Gaming. Okay, so the lanes are the... Do they... I mean, they have to put so... The good thing about the Alchemist, this is the one good thing about the hero, is we just have a absolute brawl around the bounty runes constantly. We just got some boys going toe-to-toe. So that is at least some things you love to see there. I mean, they're just going to 4-man down bot. But I feel like Dice... well, they do have disruption into arrow. But you probably just eat it from another hero. Be nice to even have like a Naga illusion in there, but... I don't think... I mean... Erica should be able to snag one if he wants to go for the other one on the higher ground. He's actually not even going to try. I guess he might be able to deny it with the illusion, potentially. I'm kind of surprised he's not trying, but here we go. Down bot, Abaddon. Caught out with the disruption arrow. Does still have the shield. It's going to get procced off instantly. Nice body blocks coming through from Arme. They need to remember about the bounty rune. Looks like James will be able to secure that. So it will be a 2-for-1. Naga's going to deny the one on the higher ground here. Actually surprised SRF isn't even checking. And he's got straight headdress. Okay. So there we go. Well, at least they get the advantage there. I'm still kind of surprised Naga didn't go and snag that bounty, considering with you would probably imagine to be a 4-on-4 down bot. And they're going to keep this going. I mean, I don't think... James wants to play with Victoria because you want the disruption set up. The only issue is that Abaddon is a little weak. We saw how much damage they could do, but YDS might just eat the arrow, though. That's the question. Yeah, you already see the positioning. Beautifully done by the puck there. Does take a lot of damage, though, but they're just going to give Arme... I mean, he's the one to win this game for them. Like, he's just... Poor old choreo. That's a really cool choreo, actually, but... Try and find that first blood. Unfortunately, they won't be able to. It's even them. Now, this is, again, another thing, though. I think the Beastmaster is going to have a decent lane. Like, against the Naga, this is a hero that doesn't really deal with the boars. You do have very good armor, which is the important thing. So the kind of constant harass from the Beastmaster, the boars, even James as well, who's got pretty decent right clicks with the Blightstone to help out. So they're going to really struggle with being able to take away this Beastmaster's laning stage presence. And it's also the fact that you have the Hawks. This is another big thing about the hero, is that you can block cants with your Hawks. So I'm kind of surprised. Arthur does have a sentry, but hasn't placed it just yet. Because Hawks feed away a lot of gold and a lot of experience as well, which is... So supports can kind of just get some decent amount out of that, to be honest. But you see the lane shove. I mean, they got 3 range creeps. And James is... Yeah, he's going to give SRF some solo time. Really important there. I mean, the level 2... Mirana's going to make sure at least she doesn't take away pretty much the full amount. It's so important. Like, you're going to make up on that little bit of experience you don't get, because XM... He's on the Void Spirit, he's a hero that's going to be able to make plays. So it'll leave the mid lane to the position 4 here to make up for it. We do see though. He's going to have a good time. He will have a very good time. It's that, I mean, it looks like Void's fine though. Like you kind of just run up. If you need be, you have dissimulate. I mean, a lot of time you don't want to level it up, but if you really feel under threat, the Resonant Pulse is just so nice to be able to secure creeps. And until Death Prophet really hits the time, like both these heroes are going to farm. Like I said in the draft, though, the interesting thing is that the Void Spirit's very... You want to kind of push the pace and control how the flow of the map. But the issue going into the Death Prophet is that's a hero that kind of loves when mid laners just end up leaving their lane and it's just a free tower for them to take. It will be a little bit more difficult though, because we're going to see a lot of emphasis around that first catapult. Like Mirana's going to rotate mid and try and snipe it. Might even snipe the courier there in the meantime too. So we see right now no real threat coming through from the lanes. The main thing is that Arme, you know, how is he farming down bot here? Looks like he's doing alright. 12 to 4 compared to the same amount of last hits as well on the Abaddon, but it is nice they have the Shadow Demon. The Shadow Demon versus the Abaddon, it's with the being able to get the passive. So you can just later on portions of the game with the illusions, trying to find the silences there, which could be pretty important. It's a very minimal thing. I mean, I say that. It's nice in hindsight, but really, you're not really going to be using the disruption like that. It's either a setup for the arrow or a save if someone gets going on here, so... So he's kind of struggling with last hitting actually against the Yabo. He does have that good old Ring of Taras. Dude, the Ring of Taras is such a nuts item. But I wonder if they're going to try and make some stacks. This is a nice thing that... I don't know if you really draft the Shadow Demon for it in that regard. But it's more the thing that you... Did you know? No. It's more the fact that you have a really nice way to double stack camps with the poison. Like he might be able to run over, you know, pull the Ancients to try and stack it up. As long as they can kind of keep the equilibrium towards the tower side, then Arme is going to be really content. And he'll make up for whatever he lacks with some stacks that they have potentially. Which at the moment, yeah, they don't have too much. But Arfu's actually going to make a rotation. It does get scouted out with the ward on the higher ground, so they've got a pretty good understanding of the positioning. And it looks like with the TP, James is actually going to come down bot. So they're going to try and put a lot more emphasis, it looks like, by the bottom bounty runes to take this engagement. You know, here's the setup. James, arrow, perfectly connects, and first blood will occur. Victoria's going to be the one to claim that. He does with the stun. Mirana's actually going to... he's got to leap in two. He should be able to... Oh, you got to leap to get it. No, he'll take the courier instead. Or, I mean, I think you'll find... Yeah, because SRF gets two of the bounties up top. So they're still going to be able to find 3 for 1 in the bounty rune department. There was also boots as well. For the park, which is pretty important throughout the lane. I mean, considering that's a 500 gold item, when now you don't have any stats or anything, you know, no regen, nothing like that to help out. And then we go exactly what we said. As soon as that first catapult timing comes through, we're going to see the Mirana go mid and snipe that. So it really takes away the effect of the Death Prophet to actually be able to put pressure on the tower. Now, I'm actually a pretty decent fan. I say decent fan. I'm a fan of the Death Prophet's actually not going Xism until a little bit later on. XM, getting aggressive here. A little bit of damage here. May as well force it out. I was going to say if Arfu can dodge that. He doesn't have a point in the dissimulate. There's a regen top too, which is nice. They even put emphasis on the Hawk to try and find the rune there, which it just goes to show. I mean, giving you that extra little bit of vision to be able to find, I guess, refresh up the bottle. And he does. He goes for a 3-0-3. Very intrigued on when he does pick up the Xism, if it's going to be a little bit later on, but they're just going to send Arme back to the jungle. He's got a small stack here. He's about to find the level 6. I mean, the only issue is that this is very similar to how I see like Storm Spirits play it. Like when you're so close to level 6, you just want to go jungle. You want to leave that level like 5.5, even like 5.25 until you hit level 6. Teams just have really just hunt you down constantly. So this is kind of the threat until you get that big ultimate to give you your survivability. And it's going to be able to farm relatively well. They did make some stacks for him. Unfortunately, won't be able to stack up that medium camp. Still intrigued if they... I mean, the Ancient's going to be difficult to farm. But he might be able to... You more want these kind of... the mediums, the hard camps. And we also see... did they deward the... I mean, that's... Yeah, it looks like Victoria did, but... Meantime, Yeet. Gonna pop out that first Exorcism here. Arfu even pops a ward on the back line, so just going to be able to scout up the movements from Arme. These are two big creeps though, so might be able to soak up a little bit of experience, which is always nice. And even Death Prophet's going to rotate over. I mean, James is in the area. I don't think they kill Arme. They are now I mean, because they pulled the creep wave away, it looks like Yi couldn't really put any pressure on the tower. In the meantime, SRF commits the roll. He's got the Necro ones as well. This is not an easy kill, but Erica's got the... Oh, I mean, that's worth it. You are so happy with that. That... Now not having... Well, one, now having a point in Song instead of being able to max out the Riptide and Mirrored Image faster, that really, really suffers. Yeah, you feel horrible about this, honestly. He's already not going to be able to keep up in farm. The fact that now he has to leave top because, I mean, he had the TP out of there. That's actually could just... I don't know if I want to say win them the game, but he's just not going to be able to keep up in the farm with the Alchemist now. It's actually a lot... Over time, it'll gradually be... You will lose a lot of last hits with not having Riptide maxed out faster. At the fastest point of the level 8, along with the Mirrored Image as well. But we see. Abaddon's kind of playing around top. I mean, I think this is a kill. He TP'd in. He's going to end up dying here. I'll pop the ultimate. They even commit the arrow. Commit it. I say commit even in a bad way. I actually thought they were going to be able to kill him. In the meantime, Victoria's going to end up falling down bot here. XM with the TP. A little bit too late. Might be able to find YDS if he goes for a stray remnant. It's on cooldown anyway, so it's not going to matter. So, just space for Arme. Already 2,400 gold in the bank. Top of the net worth by a decent shot, and as to be expected. But we are going to have, again, 5-minute intervals. Very important here. We will have the bounties up very, very shortly. And Arme is already feeling... He's getting juiced up by this, as we see. And dude, I was kind of just seeing the gold start flowing, and that will kind of give me a little bit of a turn on there. But Arfu, be careful here. He does have Yi in the area. XM's taking a decent chunk of damage, but he will still be able to find the kill. And I wonder if Yi actually goes bot with the Exorcism. They probably won't need it because Eric is already going to be able to find the tower. And now the fact that Radiant... I think Radiant can put a lot of... They need to protect this T1 tower mid. Because, I mean, Arme is just going to have such a good timing on the Radiant. So now... they have the outpost control, so Dire can protect the Death Prophet. So it will be a 1-for-1 with the outpost. The important thing is that he's still a decent chunk away. With the bounties coming through, it will be 2-2 apiece. It looks like CDEC actually don't put any aggression onto this bottom side to try and snag them. But because of how many stacks that Radiant have created, I actually want to take a look after this game ends, so I'll try and remember. The important thing is that they don't take that T1 tower mid at a good succession. Because this is the one to just really protect the jungle and stop Dire from making this fast kind of infiltration movement where they can just take over the Radiant side. And of course, Alchemist is a hero. You've got to be about an item and a half ahead, probably even about next to 2. Which at this rate he's going to be. They're giving him a lot of priority right now. You see, he's taking the safe farm. Once again, though, as soon as the catapult comes through, James just making sure he brings it down straight away, but I don't think there's much they can do to protect mid. I mean, Beastmaster, as a hero, is very bad at... They actually don't have the greatest lineup to make rotations. In fact, Beastmaster as a hero, you have to rotate 2. Instead of him being able to kind of protect the objectives. They're going to try. They are taking a lot of damage and staying around a little bit too long. And now with the wraparound, here comes XM Banishment. Holding on the back line here with the arrows set up. Abaddon's going to be able to pop the ultimate now. It looks like Void's going to get caught out. Unfortunately, XM, not enough mana to be able to get the last Astral Step off. So, that's the thing. I mean, Beastmaster just can't make that rotation. The hero very much relies on being set up in a lane with all your boars and all your hawks. So it's very, very difficult for you to be able to just run from lane to lane. Which enables Dire to be able to take the T1 tower. But still, Radiant's now online for Arme. Oh, he's also got the Iron Talon, man. This is nuts. They've got a double stack. It's going to be a triple stack. They also need to take it away from Naga because she's going to be able to farm this up really soon. Oh, they didn't get the stack. Unfortunate. But it looks like still Arme is going to be able to get a good chunk of this gold. Erica gets that last big creep. He's even got a song for it in TPR. But you take a look, like that's... He's just back to the T1 tower because Erica wants to be farming at this bottom side of the map. Like, you want to be taking this jungle away from the alchemist, especially the ancients. That's a big thing. Just take it away. But you know, the one issue I see with the Radiant lineup is that the only way for them to siege is, I mean, the Beastmaster, not the easiest person to siege the mid lane unless you kind of win a fight, but they don't really have like any other sieging hero until the alchemist gets enough items. So right now they're kind of, you know, they're fine with whatever's happening across the map. You know, we're all committed, but they do have the shield to be able to get rid of it straight away. They did burn pretty much all the mana here. So yeah, what I mean by Radiant just content with anything happening is that it's the win condition in Arme is getting farm. 4,000 ahead of the Naga. Even Beastmaster actually is so incredibly farmed. We're kind of seeing this first item Necro. It's interesting, the Necro, that the Beast is not going back for it. There was a time and stage where we saw like the Vlads, the Helm, just a bunch of kind of the sustain, like even a Pipe / Crimson, depending on what you needed, instead of the Necro 3. I mean, Necro 3s have always been good for the Beastmaster, but there was sometimes like where the Vlads into like Blink or even like Drums was kind of the build there, but I lost the B creep. Unfortunately, they're even going to find him in the coil here. So with the Dissimulate on cooldown, he doesn't... Oof, there was a lot of damage, that swap. That was an aggressive sound as well. It's like the coil just snapped his neck in half. And that just goes to show how much damage it's going to do to break. Level 1, it's 300. Maxed out 500 when you got Aghanim 700. So yeah, it's going to prove on how the game's going to fare into the Park Vengeful Spirit here. But even then, ooh, Erica with Diffusal Blade first item. Now, we don't see that a lot. Usually it's Manta into Diffusal. Pretty much the Phantom Lancer is the only hero that goes Diffusal Blade first. When I mean only hero, like only out of the Naga. Because they both go for the same items, it's just kind of different timing. I'd say like 90% of the time, it's Manta into Diffusal Blade for Naga, and then it's kind of like 50-50 on, you know, sometimes you even see like PL go like Yasha Diffusal, sometimes Diffusal into Manta, kind of switches up. But the one thing about the Diffusal getting picked up early for me is that Erica wants to get aggressive and wants to show up to a lot more engagements than if she went, because the Manta Diffusal, Manta doesn't give you a whole lot to be able to take these fights early on. It's very nice for farming, as we're going to see the bounties once again. James not going to be able to snag it, so it's already 2 bounties for Dire, but might see an engagement here with the banishment. Arrow set up. I mean, Abaddon's on the back line, but the roll's going to push him away. The call is just way too much damage already coming through. The Death Prophet's going to get shredded. XM, so much magical damage output, and now the Abaddon's going to be the next target. Pops the ultimate, but just no other disengaged potential. So that's going to be the second pickoff coming through from CDEC, and in the meantime, Arme is still farming. Has the BKB. So from what it looks like, so Dire have 2 bounty runes. Radiant should be able to claim the one on their higher ground, but Dire should be able to get 3 all up. So very nicely done. Should be able to get a tower out of it. I'm kind of surprised that... Oh, he went Atos. Wait, what? I don't think they need an Atos this game. I feel like the coil just kills the Void Spirit, right? He's going yours and Dissimulate's a nice way to dodge it. But that's an interesting choice to go for an Atos. Arme, here we go. They can burst down the Death Prophet once again, but another song swap, even committed. They've got the Exorcism, but they want to pop it. But look at the damage over time. Arthur is falling so low. The Remnant doesn't snag him, but I mean, you're fine with that. Arme doesn't pop a BKB. Does have a bit of an issue with the mana, though. That's your only worrying sign right now. And he's even going Assault Cure as second item. So, I mean, the damage coming through from the Exorcism, you've got the Minus Armor and the Riptide along with the Wave of Terror. I really like this second item. You know, a lot of time we see the Manta, but I guess he's going to have the... He's going to have the Shadow Demon Illusions. Still, you know, the Alchemist likes the Manta. You know, the double silence that Dire have. Triple even if he gets controlled by the Abaddon silence. But I feel like Dire aren't making enough movements. This is definitely the issue, though, with the Naga Siren. But it feels like they... like, I guess if Exorcism's on cooldown, then it just opens up for CDEC to make a play. But it just feels like they're sitting and waiting around for Arme to get farmed instead of kind of doing something proactive. Which, that's a difficult thing, though. And that's kind of just... showing the struggle in the lineup is that, yeah, that's kind of the struggle in the lineup. It's in regard to the position ones on how they fare. Naga's going to come online a lot later than what Arme will.
Radiant's bottom tower
Mid lane, they're going to try and find an attempt here with the BKB. They just turn it. Remnant gets rid of the orb. No, still that last little jaunt away at the second, but it looks like Arthur's the target, however. So the BKB 10-second duration force. XM's actually still hunting, but they use the Xism. Death Prophet's taking a fair bit of damage now with the silence. However, sucky. Void Spirit's going to be careful. They're going to try and wrap around as well with the Simulate. He doesn't have an Astral Set to play around with, however, so now with the Atos locking him in place, Radiant, they're on the backline, but I don't think this is enough to keep him alive, however. They just don't have the vision, but it looks like the Siphon to drain the damage. They'll find the kill on XM. It is a 1-for-1. A BKB gets traded along with the Xism as well. Radiant might be able to find G here. He's got to be careful. I was gonna say what Arm is close to 15. Oh, song. They're all group. That's a very early song. They don't have coil as well, so I don't know what this attempt is, because Radiant can just kind of fight here if they really need to. Victoria's gonna TP in. They got the outpost control. Shadow Demon's getting melted. Arrow does find the Death Prophet. If they can bring this hero down to start the fight, it's gonna be beautiful for CDC, but unfortunately with the swap away, it gives Yi enough protection to make it to the high ground. Now the core isn't gonna get committed here. It'll hold Radiant back. It's not a long stun, but still, at least it stops any more aggressive movements coming through from the CDEC lineup. So it's a 1-for-1. That is the difficult thing, though, is that you are very reliant, it feels like, on Radiant, either to roll and burst someone down. Well, unluckily for you, is that you're going to either a swap save or a shield save. It feels like Radiant are actually going to lack a lot of stuns and just, they can't stay on top of people. Which is the one big issue I see. Like, the arrow setup, the raw setup, and that was a lot of the control and why I liked the Abaddon, why they needed something to spell in the last pick. And now they've got Roche. Death Prophet, arrow, just off the mark. So Arme's got this second life now to work around with. What's the level advantage? So Naga's actually keeping up level wives. Whoa. Whoa. He's going she's going Orchid. I mean, it's going to allow her to fight a little bit earlier. Arme. Ult is about to wear off. This is night time, but the BKB now YDS. Oh, you're in a bad spot here. Still got the phase shift to play around with. We'll be able to dodge the stun. Victoria's also brought down. Arme needs help, and he needs it now. He's going to try and BKB out, but he won't be successful with that. Now the Alchemist with the second life, they need to buy back and try and get in the area as soon as possible. They don't have the tier 1 to TP to, so Shadow Demon has to go to the outpost now, but Brady, they're on the back line here with the Atos. Xism's going to come through. Ultimate's going to be up in 5 seconds, but I think it's 5 seconds a little bit too long with the swap back straight on top of the Spirits. Arme will end up dropping, and now XM's in a tricky spot as well. On top of Erica, they get the brawl. SRF actually wants to turn around now, but instead the Void Spirit's already full hard committed for the disengage. They have the song. Beastmaster gets controlled, and in the meantime there's going to be a dieback coming through along with the Shadow Demon. So they'll find the Beastmaster. That's an incredible fight from King Gaming. Beautifully done. I mean, they do lose the Venge though. Wow. I mean, what happened is that Arme just gets a little bit too cocky there. I mean, the ulti was on cooldown, they turned around, brought down the first life, and Radiant was just not in there. I'm like, wait, Arme has to be doing this with his team, right? And then he just tried to BKB and man fight. But you can't find the Puck. Like, he chased for so long. I'm surprised he just didn't TP out instantly. Because, yes, Puck kind of misplayed with jaunting to the orb straight away. But you still... Elk really needed that stun to latch, and that's the issue. I mean, your phase shift that... You're just able to dodge this. It just goes to show that Radiant are lacking some of the stuns, and... They still have the net worth advantage, but... You know, this is only because of what the Alchemist is, and... You know, if this makes it to the later stages of the game... I would heavily favor the King Gaming lineup. So they lose this first life advantage that CDC are going to have. A little unfortunate for them, but it should still be enough with the Alchemist with this lead, though. What's the probability? It's in Keen's favor. Okay. I mean... YDS? Fine. I mean, he's going to get his blink cancelled now, but it's Silence. Dual Scepter preemptively has. And the orb's already been used now, so it's going to be in a tricky spot. But the BKB quickly done from Alchemist, so the swap's not going to be able to break the coil here. Now Al's going to be able to end up to turn it. Xism is available if they want to take the fight here, but already the Puck end up falling. They will commit. Yeet pops the Exism, the BKB's ball straight on top of Arme. His ultimate's about to wear off and his own BKB's on cooldown as well. They need some protection. Erica's going to wrap on the backline, finds the Shadow Demon in our Alchemist without the help, and the supports will end up joining them in the afterlife as well. Arfu playing around on the high ground here. Until his team's able to join up, Arfu does a really nice job of being able to split up the fight. Mirana's got a couple of leap charges available, but it looks like they'll just control her up in a single place. They've got the Orchid, they've got the kill. CDEC, they are struggling in these team fights right now. They just can't lock anyone down. They actually just cannot lock one hero down. And it's going to show that they are... I mean, at the moment, they're struggling. XM's gone. He's going Yules into Ags. But I'm a little worried right now. That's 2 lost fights, and that's big because Arme, I mean, top of the net worth, and you keep killing that hero as well. And I mean, Erica's gone Diffusal, Orchid, Silver's Edge. So no Manta, Diffusal, kind of Heart or Butterfly. It's going to be a Silver's Edge, laddies. I mean, I think the Silver's Edge is actually really for the health regen reduction, the 50% for 4 seconds. I mean, you can... What are the passives? You get rid of the Grievous Grid? Yeah, that feels pretty nice. Definitely going to buy Silver's Edge for that. No, it's pretty much just a Beastmaster, any passives, I'd say. So I think it's the HP regen reduction, that 50% for 4 seconds is the main reason why the Naga's going for it. Because they don't have a Spirit Vessel from what I've been able to see. This is mainly because they have this combination in the Puck Venge, so Puck wants to just go Aghanim straight away. But you see how YDS is able to play this. I mean, the position 4 difference right now from CDEC, like the Mirana has no impact. Like, James is actually going Ags to try and maybe scale and get enough farm to shove up the lanes. But they can't do anything right now. Like, Puck has the side lane shoved out. They can't catch the Puck. So if CDEC lose, I mean, if CDEC don't get next Aegis, this game gets really, really rough. Really difficult to take. Because it's also a 7-second BKB on the Alchemist, which isn't too nice as well. They're going to smoke up. Bait out Yi here. They should know there's some people in the area if they check the creeps. I mean, that's easier said than done to see if there's some passives coming onto them, but here we go. SRF's got to be careful. Arfus has only got 1 level in the swap, unfortunately. Even with the Keen Optic, that increased cast range is just not enough. I mean, if he had that 2nd level, I think it would have been that extra 150 cast. And they're just going to mass TP down bot, because who do they find? It will be XM. Erica's going to be able to catch him off here, and now with the coil even committed, your Scepter's already used, so he doesn't have any defensive capabilities to stay alive. In the meantime, though, they do catch out a big target there. Looks, oh, it's actually just Arfu, never mind. And Roche isn't up. Sorry. I was going to say it's a big target, but thought it might have been a little bit bigger than what the position 5 was. Believe it is should be 2 bounty runes apiece though, so still Elk at least trading half out there. Ooh, telescope. I mean, I feel like it doesn't have that much... I mean, it's pretty nice on the Shadow Demon still. And there we go. Puck has... I mean, now they have like, I think Arme just dies, actually, every single fight. All they have to do is drop coil on that hero, and you swap him. I mean, they need the level 2 in the nether swap from Venge. That's actually incredibly important. That increased cast range, because you might be a little bit too far away. Like, Venge doesn't have great mobility. Tranks and Windlace is actually nice because of how slow the hero usually is, but they're going to smoke up. Is underneath the Radiant Observe Ward. They've got it. There's not a whole lot of vision right now from Radiant. They do also scan correctly. They're going to try and bait the high ground with how they're positioning, potentially. They got a ward up on the back high section. They've also got a ward on top of the lane as well. Is that an Alpha Wolf? No, I think it's just the neutral camp. Okay. So smoke's not going to work once again. We saw King Gaming actually smoke the top and now smoked... Oh yeah, they smoked behind that Death Prophet. And now they're going to try and smoke mid as well. But this is actually really big. The fact that they get nothing out of these, Army's still going to be careful. I don't know if they've scouted out the Puck Ags. And there we go. Arfu is also level 12, which is really nice. 850 cast range. You also have the plus 775, I should say. Did they have a telescope too, or was it just Radiant? Just Radiant, looks like. They've already got everything, so... The thing, I actually think Puck is probably the most important hero right now from Keen. I don't know how you kill that hero though, because they do have a ward on the high ground. It's going to make it a little easier, but you'll set up. I mean, he's got a phase shift though. That's, oh, arrow off the mark on Erica as well. So YDS is fine. They're all out of there. That goes to show on how difficult it. I think they have to. I believe the Puck cannot. It's tricky. It's literally just like milliseconds of a difference between the FPS on what, like a micro frame. What I'm talking about is if XM Eul Scepters and then drops the Remnant preemptively, and if Puck is able to phase shift dodge that, it's tricky. I don't know if the frame's enough actually. It might be just enough, because it's the same with BKB, it's instant. But alright, they're gonna be able to take a T1 down, but it's just gonna get traded for up top. That is actually a really important tower for Dire to be able to take, because of the second Roche is about to come up, and now YDS actually commits the coil onto the mid Mirana here. This could be a decent fight for Radiant if they can TP fast enough. You know, Mirana's probably still going to end up falling here, but the main thing is that the coil has already been committed. Now with the Atos, SRF swap back, they'll find Victoria. Another support's going to get brought down to start the fight, but now it looks like with both these heroes down, CDEC, can they continue on? Eric on the backline here. The song's still on cooldown. It's about to come up shortly here, but now with the swap away once again, it's going to be able to help out. Erica has some survivability now. They're going to try and turn it. Death Prophet does get brought down. Arme straight on top of Yi here, and now it looks like even the Abaddon a little bit too far out. Erica's going to try and help out, but it looks like the song on the back line. They have the vision, but no way to cancel it. And Roche is up. I mean, that's... wow. They can go take Roche now, and there was the fight they wanted. The coil got used, so Arme felt free to take that engagement there. Apologies not seeing where the Death Prophet... I think Arme just was continuously beating on. They didn't use Raw though, so I don't know how Arme was actually able to continuously right-clicking the DP. But this is big. I said they had to find second Aegis, otherwise this game gets pretty difficult. It could have been Abyssal Blade. I think Arme had that from that fight there. So, yeah. Aghanim's now. Sorry, Aegis. I know why I said Ags. There's almost, I guess I could have twisted it to Mirana, who's still going for it. But yeah, the main thing is they got the Aegis. She's on Void Spirit as well. There is an Ags already on him too. So he's gonna go Sunjin Kaya. Tank him up. Kaya's interesting. I wonder if the recent change to the Sunjin Kaya and Yasha and Kaya, or Kaya and Yasha, I know one's different. Oh, YDS, that's a big target, but... So they will be able to get 3 bounty runes now, it looks like, from Radiant. They are kind of split up. We see SRF mid, top lane is James, so they're definitely not all grouped. They got to be careful here, CDC. I mean, before Alchemist got picked off with the Aegis, that cannot happen again. If they lose this Aegis here, it's going to get very difficult for CDC to be able to continue on to the late game. And they're going to wrap on the backline. Looks like Dire. They're going to smoke up here. So they've got vision of the Abaddon at the moment. They're going to wrap all the way around. Radiant have a nice ward on the high ground, but Victoria's not really in the greatest spot to be able to pop the smoke here. And now, actually, straight on top of the Abaddon here. The X isn't. Here comes the wrap. Abaddon with the ultimate. They're going to negate a fair duration of this. And now the Aghanim's Coil actually holds the Void Spirit in place. And with the swap, he gets a Eul Scepter, but still, he's got the cheese now. I don't know how he's still alive. XM, the Eul Scepter timing. And now look at the fight occur. Xism is going to have no effect right now. Arme straight on top of him. XM going to be able to deal with the backline supporting YDS. Erica just has the song TP out. Wait, how did he... Arfu, he's in trouble now as well. XM, you accept the follow-up. That's just going to be 4 heroes down on Dire and King Gaming. Uh-oh, they're going to have to try and defend the higher ground now. Arfu with delay as long as possible, but it's not going to matter. Okay, he's got buyback, but... Here we go. I mean, they don't lose anyone. They don't lose anyone. They got Aegis. They just lose cheese. That's the main thing. Now the Eul setup. I mean, Abaddon, he's got the ulti. They really want to try and force it out. Even the buyback as well. Arme just has... looks like MKB is getting delivered now for him as well. So Arfu with the buyback. They are not finding the Ag's Coil onto the Alchemist. These other heroes now. I mean, still it's a difficult high ground to push, but... Because you have the Aegis, they can probably put him out in a bad position and kill that first life. It's going to be tricky though. But they don't have the X system for the high ground defense, so Radiant, they feel pretty content. There we go, there's the swap back on top of the Beastmaster. Some on the Alchemist as well. SRF's gonna get melted, but still the target, the main one, is the Alchemist. The Aghanim's core was now completely wasted. And they still have the second life for another 2 minutes, so Elk, he's going to be fine. With the Moonlight Shadow for some protection here, they make it on the back line. And now with the Abyssal Blade, he's actually going to counter-initiate. They know the Abaddon's ultimate's on cooldown because they forced it out earlier. And now XM with the double silence, he'll find the puck as well. Cannot get the abilities off fast enough before the silence comes through, so CDEC. A perfect high ground siege from them. 2 full sets of racks. There is still tier 2s available though, so it's going to make it a little bit difficult. Unfortunately, YDS forced to buy back here, but I mean, all of a sudden, this game has just blown out of proportion. A 24,000 lead for CDEC. Look at that massive swinging experience-wise as well. The one thing holding King Gaming in place is the fact that they still have a tier 2, but they expended a lot of buybacks. The Abaddon, the Puck, the Vengeful Spirit, all brought back there. And even the Death Prophet doesn't have buyback. The Naga does. But at the moment, I mean, Naga's got to get these lanes shoved out ASAP. So with the Aegis, they should be able to deal with all the remaining outer towers. Even Victoria's about to have a goddamn Ags. After this game, I'm so surprised on how that Yule Scepter, because they swapped him, but you should be able to get the breaks. It was really, I don't have an answer to it, so if I keep bringing it up, it's just hopelessly brought up. So I'll look back after. But here we go. They got it for another 30 seconds here. Armin's going to try and siege. They do have the coil available. I mean, maybe they think they actually can't kill Arme through the Puck coil swap. I mean, that kind of seems like that's what their thought process is at the moment. And now Arrow. Next onto the Death Prophet. Abaddon is getting goddamn shredded by Arme. They're going to be careful how long they do stay inside the base, because Age is about to tick out in 15 seconds here. If they can hold him in place long enough, he's also committed the ultimate. Now the swap back, Arme, Abyssal Blade straight on top of the Abaddon. Ult is going to get ticked out, but now the Aegis, they need to kill him fast enough. No, they do. So the Aegis doesn't time out, and then the Puck's also going to get caught out here. He's got to be careful. No buyback available. XM straight on top of the backline. Vengeful Spirit with double demonstrate. They'll sing the song with all the BKBs. Death Prophet just can't man fight right now with the X's and Radiant. They don't give a damn about it right now, and Erica still controlled as well. Death Prophet will still get chased to the ends of the earth here, and CDEC, they're way too tanky. They've got way too much damage as well, and the G's are dropped. Just that second Aegis from CDEC, an incredible fight. That was a really awkward high ground defense. Like the Elk, I thought Dire were gonna try and I thought Dire were gonna try and time the Aegis where they didn't kill the Elk beforehand, but he was really lucky that he died. I think it was like a second or two. If he died a second or two later on, then the Aegis would have ticked out and he would have been dead. So I thought King Gaming were waiting to time that. Unfortunately, they did it, killed him a little bit too early, and that just turned the fight around. Pocky also got caught out that last fight as well, but I don't know. I struggle with, because I thought Keen were going to try and to coil the Elk, swap him, and then with that mass lockdown, because the thing is that if you do that, Victoria doesn't have like a blink or anything to follow up. Like Victoria went Ags this game. So that swap would have put Arme so far away from any help. He wouldn't have been able, the BKB wouldn't have protected him, because the coil stuns like 4 seconds when it breaks. And that's long enough then to follow up with like the Nagas on top of you with all the physical damage. I guess they thought that they had to deal with everyone else but Arme. And in the end, they just, CDC, they're able to get that second Aegis. They're able to end this game before the Naga Siren really was able to have enough items. And you know, that being said, a very, very nice draft and well-executed game plan. It was already looking rough. It was looking rough early on because they were lacking a lot of stuns and couldn't really find anyone from Keen. But regardless, they're going to be able to take game 1 from CDEC. So with that being said, we'll see if we got any more cheese picks coming through with the last picks. You know, I think now with the draft, it really enables like the last Elk, the Meatbow, the Husker, etc., the Brood. But, you know, very nice draft from CDEC, and they're going to be able to take game 1 off the backs of the Alchemist pick.